One. All right, we're live. Good evening. This is Attorney Vincent Davis, and this is The Secret: How to Fight CPS and Win. And tonight I'm joined by a very special guest, Miss Nicole Romero. Nicole, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. Starting off, what city and state are you in?
Carlsbad, California.
Oh, so you're kind of local here in California.
hmm
So you have some connection to CPS,
I have two connections to CPS, actually.
and what are they?
I have an open case that's about to close with, it started off with my three kids, now it went down to two. They're going to basically be cutting or closing the case and leaving the visitation as is with only 2 hours a week of Zoom visits because my kids are now out of state in Louisiana. And then I still have an open case with my 2-month-old. She's 3 months old in about a week, um, because I had an open case with my other kids.
Well, I don't understand. Are they placed with the father or something in Louisiana?
They are. However, the father actually is the abuser of my son.
Well, what happened?
He, before I became homeless, he actually ended up, my son had told me, he was only 4 years old at the time, that daddy hit me from far. I made a police report on it because prior to that, my son came home extremely scared and cried himself to sleep, didn't want to talk. Um, so I finally made a police report. The police actually made the report, which was what I thought would be the strongest piece of evidence because he said the story to the police officer, and that was not the case. I tried to get the doctor to write her order in time for the court date for the restraining order. I got the emergency one, but unfortunately, because the doctor's order came 3 weeks too late, I wasn't able to get the permanent restraining order.
Nicole, before we go any further, do you have a TV on in the background or something?
Oh,
Because
it
I'm
could be the
thinking,
washing machine.
no, it sounds like somebody talking, but okay.
No,
Um, how long has the case been open?
the case has been open now for 2.5 years. So the first social worker I had was not very much help for me. I gave them evidence of being stalked by my ex, and nothing happened from it. Shortly after that, he kept stalking me on and off. Didn't matter where I went, I was homeless. So it didn't matter where I went, when I went there. Basically, uh, they he ended up finding me somehow. I think he tracked me through my phone, but I'm not sure. Um, I tried to make police reports, let them know the situation that was happening, but because I had a one-time record, it was unfortunately I was unable to get anybody to actually make a report. So everything that had happened at that point um, led to nobody listening to me ever. My social worker didn't want to listen to me. I basically went from city to city trying to get away from this person instead of taking care of my services, and um, lost the ability to have my reunification services. Um, when that happened, prior to that, I just kind of lost it and was just trying to move around to get away from him. So I lost my reunification services in December. I was never notified of the court date or anything. Nobody made any attempt to contact me via phone, via my emergency contact, nothing. So It was all really upsetting. I had gone to a rehabilitation center. I went in January. I notified my um, social worker that I had just been informed of the reunification services being closed. Is there anything else I can do about it? They said your attorney can actually appeal it, and she never did, I guess. I ended up finally getting into a rehabilitation center 3 months later. Um, but it took me literally 2 years because of COVID to get into any kind of rehabilitation center. So um, it was just like heartbreaking. Like I literally tried my hardest for a year and a half to get into a rehabilitation center, and I finally got into one. I was there for 162 days, completed it, and in the process, while I was actually um, running from my ex, a lot of other things happened. I was also raped. I have my daughter from it, who's my beautiful everything right now. But I they tried to come to the hospital to take her. Uh, they didn't, because of the environment I was in and my stability at the time. They said that I could keep her. A week later, I went back to the hospital. I was suffering badly from sepsis, from an arterial blockage, and what was it? Eclampsia. And so when they put me in the CICU unit, they just took her from me and put her in foster care. I got out the night before court, went to court the next morning, and I got her back that day. So I still have the social services tried to give me only 12 hours of visitation with her due to my past. And it ended up, the judge actually turned it around. The judge said, no, I want to put her in a like CRISP program, and we're going to go ahead and go about it that way. So they put me in a like CRISP program. The judge overruled the social workers. And I've been in it ever since. And that was since August of this year.
Is the child still with you?
Yes, she is still with me.
So, how do you have custody of one child but not the other children?
That's a good question. I've done the other children are with their dad. This one, she doesn't have technically a father. I tried to get the cases merged together, but they're not merging them with sibling being the reason for merging the cases. I've tried to get additional visitations with my kids. The father does not actually always let me talk to the other two children, the younger two. I talk to my oldest daughter every week. She is with her paternal grandmother, and I do get to speak with her every week. I get to hear about her school and everything like that. But my other two kids, he's withheld me from talking to them, I believe, because we have court cases coming up. So,
Are the court cases in San Diego County?
yes.
So, are you at Meadowlark or East County in El Cajon or Vista? Where's your
Vista.
case?
Vista.
You know, if you wanted to tell someone that was watching, what's the three most important things you've learned as a parent being involved in a CPS case, what would you say?
Call you before you do anything. Um, don't talk to CPS until you talk to someone like you. Um, Also, if you do end up doing what I did and thinking that going along with the program is the way to go, then do everything they say right away, or you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt.
Do you still have visitation with the children that are placed with their father in Louisiana?
Whenever he allows it. I'm supposed to have it court ordered 2 hours a week via Zoom. They're younger kids. They never last 2 hours. It's maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And that's if he decides to join the Zoom meeting. Um, 3 out of 4 times, at least this last month, he did not decide to join the Zoom meeting. Um, I'm not sure why. I don't know what happened. I've been told I can't talk to the kids about certain things. So um, I just kind of try to keep it at, how are you doing? How is your week? How have you been? But now my son has started calling me by my first name instead of mom. And my daughter said, she's still my mommy. I love her. So I guess that's good. Um, but because my ex has a girlfriend and my kids have been there since May, that's what's happened.
Have you appealed any of the judge's decisions that have been made
I've
against you?
asked my attorney to.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to do anything, but I don't know what my attorney's done. She says she has, but then she tells me that it's too late now for certain things, and so my attorney's really not really helped me in this case. With the case of my newest child, she's helped me because I'm already in the process of doing everything they asked me to do. But with my other case, she just kind of dropped it about a year ago.
So you might want to talk to your attorney about using the successes that you've had in the most recent case in an
She's
effort
aware
to,
she's the same attorney.
well, she should be, maybe you should discuss with her using those successes in an effort to get your children back. Because
She's
theoretically, from what I recall, the way the statutory scheme is written in California, the children are supposed to be returned back to the status quo if possible. So that I'm assuming you had custody prior to these cases being filed.
yes, I did.
And if you're doing everything that you should be doing, you should probably try to fight for custody back and or have unmonitored visitation with the children. And at the worst case scenario, if the kids were going to remain in Louisiana, you should have them during Christmas and spring break and summer break and things that way. You see, I was always the proponent of this, and to me, it's common sense. If you have one child in your custody, how can you be a risk to the other children? Now, I
Right.
guess it's theoretically possible, but generally speaking, you can't be, safe for one child and not safe for the other two. So even if worst case scenario, they didn't return those children in Louisiana, what you could do is you could have your unmonitored visits. And I wholeheartedly support you talking to your lawyer and trying to find out what you guys can do to try to make that happen. Now, I haven't reviewed your case, and there may be something going on in your case that I don't know about, but at least I would have that discussion with my lawyer.
Okay.
And,
Would
and
you? Would there be anything I could do if they close this case to get it reopened or heard?
oh, you can appeal it.
I
First of
can't
all,
appeal this one.
yeah, first of all, I would have some kind of trial or
I'm
contested
in
hearing
trial.
to try to stop them from leaving the kids in Louisiana. And if that doesn't work, of course, file your notice of appeal to start an appeal. And in California, and probably in most states, if you can't afford an appellate attorney, one will be appointed to you by the Court of
Okay.
Appeal. So, you can always go that route.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. What about if there's adoption involved?
Well, if the children are placed with the father, there
The
wouldn't be a.
younger two.
Well, wait a minute. How many children do you have?
I have three on that side. I have an older daughter who is 12 years old,
And where is she?
and she's with her paternal grandmother. Her father passed away. I'm a widow.
Okay, so see, that's one of those things that you should talk to your attorney about fighting, because you have a child in your custody.
Right.
So how could you lose another child to adoption? Now, have I ever heard of that happening? Yes, I have. I think it's rare, And when it happens, in most cases, it doesn't make sense to me. You know, 25 years ago, I used to do, I used to be a court appointed attorney. And I practiced in front of this one judicial officer who brought this to, people's attention. How can you say we can give her one of the children, but not any more of the children? You can't say she's a danger to kids and give her one of the kids. That just doesn't
Right.
make it's illogical. Now, can people or social workers try to rationalize that? Yeah. And I bet, a good attorney representing social workers could come up with 1,001 reasons to keep that child away from you. And apparently they have because it's happening, right? But just common sense to me says, well, wait a minute. We're recommending she has one child or she has one child over our objection. Why can't she get the other kids back?
Right.
Especially if one of them is moving towards adoption.
Well, the older one was adopted July 28th, which was the day after my daughter was born, my newest daughter. Hello?
Hi, Nicole. We had some internet issues,
Yeah.
and I'm traveling right now, so I don't have a very strong internet connection.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know if you heard the last thing I had. What I suggest is that you contact your lawyer, try to figure out a plan, a strategy that you guys can implement to get your children back. And the basis of that strategy is going to be the fact that you have a child in your custody right now.
Right.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for being on this evening, and thank you for sharing your story. Because of the internet issue I'm experiencing this evening, I'm going to cut the tonight's show short. We've been on about 18 minutes. And tomorrow, because I'm going to be in a couple seminars Saturday and Sunday while I'm traveling, we're going to pick a different time for the show. Usually the shows are at, I think, 9 a.m. on Saturday, and that won't happen tomorrow or Sunday. But we'll come up and, watch your social media station, and we'll be announcing what time the shows will be this Saturday and Sunday. But there will be shows. All right. So thank you again, Nicole, and good night to everyone. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
Bye bye.